Welcome back to Thai Dreamer. Finally.
SkyTrain buses.
Every single morning, an endless sea of humanity floods into Bangkok's BTS SkyTrain. These are the 20 and 30 somethings navigating the maze of glittering shopping malls and towering skyscrapers hustling to make a living in one of Southeast Asia's most dynamic capitals. On the surface, Bangkok looks more prosperous, more modern, and more vibrant than ever before. It is a city that seemingly offers everything. But if you look closely, past the glowing neon and the luxury storefronts, you'll notice a quiet, invisible crisis unfolding among the men of this city. A massive demographic of young Thai men are making a profound life choice. They are quietly giving up on marriage. And the reason? It isn't because they've stopped believing in romance. It isn't a sudden cultural shift toward modern bachelorhood. And it certainly isn't a lack of desire for family. The truth is far more brutal. For the average young man in Thailand today, marriage is no longer a milestone of adulthood. It has become an impossible financial burden, a luxury they simply cannot afford. Welcome to the invisible bachelorhood crisis of Thailand, where love comes with a price tag that leaves a generation trapped. To understand why Thai men are walking away from the altar, you first have to understand a deeply rooted tradition called the Sinso.
Okay.
In Western cultures, you buy a ring and pop the question.
I don't understand.
I didn't
Why you
understand that. Because
In Thailand, you have to prove your worth literally in cash and gold. Sinso is a traditional dowry paid by the groom to the bride's parents. Historically, it was a beautiful gesture, a way to honor the bride's family for raising her, and to prove that the groom was financially stable enough to provide for a new household. But today, hyper-urbanization and rampant consumerism have wrapped this tradition into a devastating financial hurdle. Social media has created a culture of comparison, where weddings are public spectacles, and the size of the Sinso is often viewed as a direct measure of a man's value. Let's look at the numbers. To marry a middle-class woman in Bangkok, a man is often expected to present a Sinso ranging from 20,000 to over $1 million Thai baht. That's roughly 6,000 to 30,000 US dollars. And remember, this is just the dowry. It doesn't include the actual wedding ceremony, the gold jewelry, or the honeymoon. Now, contrast that with reality. A typical university graduate starting his career in Bangkok earns an average of 15 to 20,000 baht a month, about 450 to 600 US dollars. Even if a young man somehow saved every single penny he earned without eating or paying rent, It would take him 3 to 5 years just to hit the minimum dowry requirement. But realistically, it's a decade of flawless saving. For most, starting a family doesn't mean starting a new chapter of life. It means starting a lifetime of debt. So, if a man just works hard and saves for 10 years, can he eventually afford it? The harsh reality of surviving in Bangkok makes even that impossible. Step just a few meters away from the air-conditioned malls into the narrow back alleys, and you see the true weight of the urban grind. Let's break down the monthly budget of an average 20-something Thai man.
왔었던 것 같은데.
Out of that 20,000 baht salary, renting a tiny basic apartment on the outskirts of the city, plus utilities, instantly swallows up about 6,000 to 8,000 baht. Then comes transportation. Commuting via the BTS or riding a motorcycle taxi isn't cheap. It drains another 2,000 baht. Even eating at street food stores, Beijing meals will cost around 4,000 to 5,000 baht a month. But here is the critical piece of the puzzle, Boonkhun. In Thai culture, filial piety, the obligation to repay your parents for raising you, is absolute. Most young workers are expected to send 3,000 to 5,000 baht back home to their parents in the provinces every single month. When you do the math, the balance left over at the end of the month is practically zero. There is no emergency fund. There is no investment portfolio. They are living paycheck to paycheck, running on a treadmill that never stops. When you're fighting, just keep your own head above water. The idea of taking on the crushing financial weight of a traditional wedding isn't just daunting. It's mathematically impossible. Taking out high-interest personal loans, or resorting to loan sharks just to save face at a wedding, is a trap that many refuse to fall into. Faced with these insurmountable odds, a silent consensus is sweeping across the nation's young men. They are choosing to stay single. This isn't a loud rebellion against women or tradition. It is a quiet, pragmatic retreat. Remaining a bachelor in Thailand is no longer seen as a failure to launch. It has become a necessary survival strategy in a hyper-capitalist city. By staying single, they protect themselves from that. If you walk through Bangkok at night, you'll see this reality everywhere. The solo diner at the noodle cart, the lone office worker killing time in a cafe. They are choosing solitude not because they want to be alone, but because solitude is the only space where they aren't constantly measured by their bank accounts. In a society that demands you buy your way into traditional adulthood, Opting out is the only way to maintain control over their own lives. Bangkok's skyline will continue to reach higher. The luxury malls will continue to expand, glittering brighter every year. But beneath the gleaming surface, the very people who keeps this city running are being priced out of the most basic human experience. Building a family. When a society demands that love be validated by money, and when the money is kept out of reach for the average person, we have to ask ourselves, what happens to a generation of men who realize the game is rigid against them? What does the future look like for a city where marriage has become the ultimate luxury good? Thank you for watching Thai Dreamer, and I'll see you in the next video.